Really?
Dude. You're gonna nitpick that.
I don't know.
You're gonna look at that offensive line and tell me that's a bad offensive line.
Welcome to another episode of Boom or Bust, the draft show. Max Chadwick alongside PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth, and Nick Merriam. A very original idea right now. Nobody else has ever done this.
Nobody else has done this. You've seen this nowhere.
You've seen it nowhere else. We're drafting a rookie team, and I promise, I swear to God, I texted these guys saying, hey, we should do this. And then Mel Kiper and Tom McShay dropped it. Ben and Trevor, who we love, apparently they did it too. And then, of course, our Kings, Austin and Mike, they did it as well. So we're following the trend, I guess. But I promise we did have this idea organically in our group chat. But, hey, we're drafting a team from scratch. How this works is you have nobody. Nobody's on your roster. You're drafting 22 players, so there's 88 total picks because 4 times 22, quick maths, is 88. We have an entire starting lineup. So we're going to run through everybody's team and talk about what they like about their own team. Then, of course, what you love about us. We yell at each other, say why their team sucks, and rank the teams 3 to 1, not including their own team. But, of course, please follow our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
We'll have graphics of the teams on there. There will be a poll on Twitter. It'll be a whole thing.
We want to hear from you too.
It'll be a whole thing.
This is very competitive.
It'll be a whole
really
thing.
Competitive. This is going to be really competitive. So whoever you like the most, whatever team you like the most, go there and vote because this is going to determine who the best draft analyst is. Basically,
brutal.
So again, at Boomer Bust Draft there, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to a very special number for us, and that's all I'll go into on that, but we're getting close. So let's go over our own teams to start off. PJ, what do you like, and what was your strategy about your team going into this draft?
All right, so how we're going to do this, there's going to be a nice little full screen that comes on the screen right about now with everybody's teams as they start talking. So enjoy my team. I was picking third, so I took Zach Wilson because everybody else here thinks Justin Fields is better than him. Ran to the podium on that, and then it was a snake draft. So Nick took Penei Sewell as the first non-quarterback. Sorry to spoil that. So I jumped on Kyle Pitts, who's actually the best non-quarterback. From there, I kind of said, screw offensive skill position players, which I regret and I don't regret at the same time, because Kyle Pitts is the best offensive skill position player, but then also the other ones are not that good. I mean, listen, I like the offensive line a lot. I have a great interior. I have Rashawn Slater, who's awesome, and I got Walker Little with my second to last pick, which I'll take the high upside swing there. On the back end, I love my linebackers, Zaven Collins, Jabril Cox, and Hamza Nasruddin, I guess in a hybrid safety linebacker role. Good luck throwing on those three. Edge one, Jalen Phillips, Ronnie Perkins. The secondary is not great. I'm not going to lie to you. There was a run on quarterbacks that I was just not a part of. I took J.C. Horn at 9. I was like, great, CB1, lock it up. And then, everybody else kept drafting corners. And that's how I ended up there. But Tyson Campbell, I believe in you, buddy. So, yeah, I mean, that's my team. Listen, I really like the offensive line, and I have Kyle Pitts. So what more do you need, I guess, from there?
Talent, PJ.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into all that. All right, so my team's going to the Super Bowl. I don't care what these other 3 teams are. Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. The wide receiver group is terrifying. I don't care if you're Nick's secondary. That's terrifying. The offensive line, I think, is also exceptional. PJ can slander my Josh Myers pick, which was my last pick, but I really don't care. The other 4 are studs. Defense, we're probably going to work like a 3-3-5 type thing. My linebackers are all dynamic. Jacoby Stevens is basically a safety, but I'm just going to use him at linebacker. And man, Benjamin St. Just and Ife Melifonwu, 2 very long boys, Asante Samuel Jr., Cisco, Washington. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm winning the Super Bowl. I literally don't care.
Man is confident. All right, we'll get to that in a second. So I got Trey Lance. I got stuck with the 4th pick and the strictly worst quarterback. So and I think the strategy here should have been, at least for all of us, is once you get your quarterback to build your offense around your quarterback. So what is Trey Lance good at? Well, he can run. So the first thing,
right.
Yeah, right. That's what he did. So obviously, Trey Lance very good at running the ball. First thing we did was get 2 tackles. So I think I have the best 2 tackles on my board. I got Darisaw and I got Penei Sewell. We ended up getting an okay interior the rest of the way. Ended up taking Dylan Radins to play some guard. Then Cleveland I liked a lot, also a guard. Kendrick Green's going to be our center. And we're hoping to ground and pound a little bit. Went ahead and a little bit early because I think the value of tight ends was higher once I took Trey Lance. Took Brevin Jordan and Pat Freiermuth around late 30s, I think, because I wanted to be able to run a bunch of 12 personnel because I want to be in power formations, run the ball, be able to block. And at wide receiver, I went ahead and I looked for guys who get open downfield because Trey Lance excels at downfield accuracy, at least when he is most accurate is downfield. He has struggled other areas of the field, but I think that's where he's best. So got Jalen Waddle, got De'Ami Brown to throw the ball downfield. And then to give him some easy open targets short, we also have Brevin Jordan, have Jalen Waddle to pick up some yards on their own when we're not able to set up those play action deep shots because maybe, I don't know, we're going up against a good front four and they can deal with our power run game between Trey Lance and Michael Carter. Defensively, we're going to have a bit of a rotational scheme. We're going to be playing nickel all the time, obviously, which is what you should be doing, PJ, but PJ drafted a base defense. I don't know why. But anyways.
I did not. I'm moving Hamza back. Hamza is just playing Rover now.
All right. This guy's got Hamza as a linebacker, but all right. So a little 3-3-5, a little 4-2-5. We'll do some of both. Front four is a little weird. Took Kwity Paye, guy who can play hand in the dirt, can play inside, outside, 3-tech, 5-tech. Once I had that, I was like, let's just get a bunch of those types. We're going to be undersized up front, which could be an issue. But between him, Rashad Weaver, and Osa Odigizua, there's a lot of ability to rotate. And Quincy Roche will be our one stand-up edge rusher who I think can move around, do a little bit of extra stuff there in terms of small, flat pass coverage and run defense on the outside. Linebackers, I kind of ignored Justin Hilliard, Nick Bolton, whatever. We don't care because we really, really, really hammered home secondary, as Tate mentioned. Went ahead and nabbed corners very early. Greg Newsome, Caleb Farley, Eric Stokes. We're going to play them all in the slot, all on the outside. Eric Stokes might play some free safety even. Trayvon Morig, Richie Grant, super versatile safeties, can play in the box, can play outside, might even line up Morig a little bit at corner. Both can play center field, free safety. Love my secondary. That's what we're going with on the defense. No one's throwing the ball on us.
Yeah, so my team, I got Justin Fields, second overall. Again, I think he's QB2 in this draft. And I kind of built around him. So I gave him Jamar Chase, who I think is the best pass catcher in this draft. Sorry, PJ. And then I think my receiving core is really good. So I got Rondale Moore as my number 2 receiver to play in the slot for me. And then my guy, of course, Tylan Wallace on the other outside. Kind of ignored offensive line for a while. You know, there's a big run on them, and I knew that they didn't need to draft any more linemen. So I kind of waited a little because I knew, hey, they're not going to draft them, so I'll wait and get other positions. Got Hunter Long, who I really like at tight end. And then my defense is what I really went after was pass rushing and coverage. Didn't really care about run defense. So I'm running a 4-2-5, Azeez Ojulari, Jason Owe. Azeez, who I think is the best pass rushing edge in this draft, and right now I have him actually edge 1. Jason Owe, freakiest edge we've seen in quite some time. And then, of course, Christian Barmore and Levi Onwuzurike, 2 guys I really like, 2 really good pass rushers. And then my linebacker core is pretty good with Davis and Rice. And I really like so this is a secondary, and I know is like a very me secondary. So if you're not Max Chadwick, you're probably not going to like my secondary too much. But Zertan, Adebo, Zach McPherson, who I just put out a tweet about, I think he's very underrated in this class of corner from Texas Tech. And then Javon Holland, who I love, still think he's safety 1, and Jamar Johnson from Indiana at my other safety spot. So those are our teams, and I'm really, again, my O-line is probably the worst part of my team, but I love everything else, basically. However, we know that the other guys probably don't like our teams as much as we do. So, PJ, give me from 3 to 1 the worst to best teams in this rookie team draft.
Okay. This is where it's going to get really difficult because I have problems with all of you individually. I have a clear 1, and then 2 and 3. It's just like I'm not sure if either of these 2 teams are particularly great. Okay, fine. I've decided mentally. I'm giving Max the 3 slot. I gotta do it. I think the offensive line leads a lot to be desired. Again, it's a very offensive line. Sam Cosmi is a good player, but I would argue that almost every. I would argue that almost every other tackle is better than him at this point. And then the interior guys, I mean, those are guys that you like. I also don't dislike them, but I went heavy on interior offensive line. Maybe it was a mistake, maybe it wasn't. But and then I don't know. I mean, you have a great defensive line. I just think the secondary outside of Surtain is not exactly great. I would have put Javon Holland in the slot as a cornerback, but I'll give Max the 3 slot. Tate, I'm going second. I think the defense is not great. The linebacker heavy is fine. Those two, Owusu-Koramoah and Micah Parsons are great players. I think you only have one edge, and it's Joe Asai, who none of us really like. I think Basham and Greg Rousseau I would move inside, and then the secondary. They're long, but I don't know if you have a bona fide dog CB1 back there. But the offense, the wide receiver core, you can't beat it. Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence, you can't beat it. And I think the offensive line is pretty good. Then I do have to give Nick the nod here. I think Nick's secondary is the trump card over pretty much everybody. I think it's the best individual unit that anybody has here. And I do think he built around Trey Lance well. I think if you did take Trey Lance, the foursome of Jordan, Freiermuth, Sewell, and Darisaw is the way to do it. Just run power every time. So if we were simulating a whole season, yeah, the linebackers suck, but nobody's going to be able to throw the ball. And I think running the ball is definitely going to be able to be done. And at the worst part, you got Jalen Waddle on the outside, which isn't bad either. Yeah. It's my spiel. It's my spiel.
All right. Third worst team for me, PJ. By far and away. If you look at PJ's team, he
Zach
drafted.
Wilson is not getting touched, bro. Nobody is sniffing Zach Wilson.
Let me talk.
Nobody is sniffing Zach Wilson.
PJ drafted 4 cornerbacks. He didn't draft a safety.
Elijah Molden.
There was a run on corners and needs to get all of them. The rest of them, we just need all of them.
Elijah Molden
played 67 snaps at safety in his entire career.
Free safety. He's ranked on my board as a free safety. I want him as a free safety. Aaron Robertson is a very good slot corner. I agree.
Just like Elijah Molden.
J.C. Horn, CB1. I agreed that Tyson Campbell was a botch. I waited too long. I got it. I understand. I'm not happy about it.
You should just listed Hamza as a safety. This would have
I changed it. It will be changed in the graphic. Okay. Hamza will be listed as a safety, weak side linebacker. He's just going to be Keanu O'Neal. He's just going to be out there. He's going to be around.
Okay, so PJ secondary is horrendous because he has, again, no safeties.
Nobody's throwing on the linebackers, Tate. I have the 2 best coverage linebackers in the class, Tate.
Staying true to the New York Jets, PJ will be running cover 0 strictly.
Forget secondary. My coverage is all in the linebacker.
Yeah. Congratulations,
Nobody's throwing on the linebackers.
When Jalen Waddle is sprinting past Zaven Collins, you can tell me all about how good your linebackers are in coverage.
That's what Elijah Molden's back there for.
Okay, go into the offense then. 2 slot wide receivers. It's a move, certainly.
Again, listen, I had to take Kyle Pitts, and then the outside wide receivers dried up. That's it.
Okay. Bizarre move.
This is an outside receiver in this offense.
Kyle Pitts is an outside wide receiver.
I like them both, but on the same team, no.
Didn't have a lot of options.
Also, your offensive tackles didn't play football in 2020. That's just a fun fact. I hope you're ready for a rough training camp.
And
team two, I'm going with Max. I think your edges are too one-dimensional. They're both just speed guys. Also, Jason Owe doesn't get sacks, but I mean that's just a whole nother topic. I think your linebackers are also meh. I don't know. They're just meh. Larry, interior offensive line. Are we sure?
Yeah, he could play it. He can play it.
He's going to play it. Sure.
He's going to play it. He's not going to be tackled in the NFL.
Okay. And then I don't know. Also, just your receiving core just didn't jump off the page to me.
I know we like about.
Listen. I know we like Rondale. I know we like Tyler. Okay, I don't agree with that. I don't know. It just didn't jump off the page. Interior offensive line is like meh. I think their linebackers are meh. I think your edges are too one-dimensional. And then the secondary, I mean, I don't like Paulson Adebo that much. I don't just meh. You know, it's like PJ's down here, you're like average, and I think Nick is like of you three. I think Nick is the number one. I don't know if Quincy is that's the good role for Quincy, but we can we can let that slide. And then you did draft Justin Hilliard over Baron Browning, which I have a small issue with, but again, I do like Justin Hilliard. So I don't know. It's Nick, Max, PJ for me, and PJ is like clear far and away in the gutter, going 0-16. Like
the Twitter people will. I wish the Jets went 0-16. The Twitter people will rally around me.
Yeah, you'll get your dogs.
So this, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still deciding between PJ and Max. Who is my third team? I don't know. I really don't know. There's both just so much here that I like. Either am like just meh or just don't like straight up. I guess we're gonna put PJ third just because.
Let's go.
I don't know, man. I mean, he's listed as a base. I know he's gonna change it.
We already have changed it.
He's running 4-3.
There's just too many positions
0.
that are just like weird. Like Elijah Molden, I'd rather have a slot corner. I'm not a big fan of Aaron Robinson. I like J.C. Horn, but with the coverage pieces you have, I don't know how much man he's going to be running. Jabril Cox and Collins are awesome, but your interior defensive line isn't as good as I would hoped for with those two edge pieces, which I think were the best. I think it's the best edge combination we have on this board. He just didn't really find a way to take advantage of it with the rest of the defense. Offensively, I love the O-line. I think it's great. And obviously, Zach Wilson's good, but I'm just not a big Terrace Marshall guy. And then you have 3 receivers that I want running routes out of the slot. So I don't necessarily dislike the players you took. I just think it's weird how they kind of fit together. And I don't – it's not a definitive worst team because I don't like Max's team that much better.
It's a very Max Chadwick team. I'll admit that.
I like Jamar Chase and Rondale Moore. I think that's sick. Javonte Williams is the best running back. Not that that should matter that much, but the O-line is very weird. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think your front 4 on defense is the best front 4 on this board. I think the interior is great. I think the edge rushers, you may have some questions about Oweh, but I think lining him up next to those other 3, he'll produce. The linebackers don't matter that much, honestly, but they're fine. And I think with Surtain there and Holland is a rotational piece, and Jamar Johnson is a guy I think also that can move around a little bit. Adebo can fit into a scheme. I think with those guys, I don't know a ton about McPherson. Honestly, got to watch him a bit, but I trust you enough that I think your team's a little bit better than PJ's. And then I've got Tate, a little bit of a bigger gap as the best team, mostly because he got Trevor Lawrence, and he said, I'm drafting receivers because I have the best quarterback. And he has the best receiving core on the board, in my opinion, because he's got Devontae Smith, Rashad Bateman, and Kadarius Toney, who are all receiver 2, 3, and 5 for me, respectively. Kenny Yeboah, whatever. I mean, you could just. I guess if we kept the draft,
my second to last pick,
Yeah. The O-line is passable. The Josh Myers is whatever, but I think
passable.
Nick, no, it's above average. Like it's good. I just think I like PJ's O-line more, and I like my O-line more. But yours is fine. Like
If anybody has any insult to my offensive line, you're canceled. I am canceling you mentally.
All right. I like Trey Smith. Eichenberg and Jenkins are good tackles. I just think they're, better tackle pairs. It is what it is. The pass rush is whatever, but the linebackers are great. And the secondary, I think, has a theme of being long, physical, and athletic. And I think that's at least a theme, and it fits.
The secondary has a theme of long, physical. Our Darius Washington is 5'6".
Talk about athletic. We got Iffy, we got Benjamin, and we got Andre Cisco.
Those and guys then you have our Darius Washington.
Yeah, and then we're gonna put him back there, and we're gonna say, if Andre runs up and tries to pick off a pass and he messes up, then guess who's there to make the tackle?
Then an actual good safety is there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right, fair. So I'm gonna go through my 3-1. Number 3, PJ Clark. Peach, I love your O-line. I think your O-line's outstanding. Love it. Your receiving core, besides Kyle Pitts, is abysmal.
Everybody has to grade me on the scale of my wide receiver 1 plays
so
tight end.
Bad.
Everybody has to just grade me on that scale.
I understand Kyle Pitts, which makes it not awful, but the wide receiver part of it, like Terrace Marshall, Tate has 3.
Did you see what Zach Wilson did with Isaac Rex?
In at BYU's schedule too.
And
so see.
What do you mean? And
what
I mean.
Look, Tate's got 3 receivers better than your number 1, PJ.
No, he doesn't. He does not have 3 wide receivers better than Kyle Pitts. No, he doesn't.
I just said not counting Kyle. I literally just said not counting Kyle Pitts. I literally just said not count Kyle Pitts.
That is not my Kyle Pitts. I drafted pass catchers. I did not draft wide receivers. I drafted pass catchers.
All right, moving on to your
defense. I drafted Kyle Pitts.
Tight end and 3 slot guys.
I knew this was going to be a thing when I drafted Kyle Pitts. It was going to be, your wide receivers suck because my wide receiver plays tight end.
PJ's 2 D tackles are also terrible. Davion Nixon, I'm not a huge fan of. And then Deo Odiambingo, I'm not a huge fan of either. Ronnie Perkins is dropping down the board as we speak. So I'm not a huge fan of Ronnie.
3 terrible takes there.
And then you're
say something bad about Jalen Phillips to my face.
Love Jalen Phillips. He's rising up my board. The secondary, I'm not as big a concern with the no safeties. I think Elijah Molden can play safety. Cover 0 has worked out before for the Jets, so we'll see. But no, I actually think Elijah Molden can play safety, and I think I rank Hamza as a safety, so I don't hate that.
Don't lie, but he's just gonna move around. He's just gonna have fun.
Number 2, Nick Merriam. Nick, love your tackles. Penei Sewell, Christian Darrisaw, completely agree. By far the best tackle duo on here. Your weapons is where I have a problem. So I like Jalen Waddle a lot.
Max hates 12. Max hates 12.
He hates 12.
I don't like Brevin Jordan. No, I like Pat Fryermuth. I don't like Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan is low ridiculously. Brevin Jordan, who everyone's like, oh, he's a freak athlete, and he puts up a terrible pro day. So what is he then? The weapons not a big thing. And then I like the defense. I do like the defense. The linebackers or whatever. But I like the secondary is what's most important. And I think that secondary is really good. Really close between 2 and 1. And so Tate takes number 1 because I think again, like I said before, his wide receivers are outstanding. You got Devontae Smith, Rashad Bateman, and Kadarius Toney. Like, that is fantastic. And like Nick said, you're building around Trevor Lawrence, which there are worse things to build around. Secondary is where I have the biggest issue. I don't hate it. I like Ardarius Washington a lot. I like Andre Sisco. And then I think St. Juice is a very underrated player, and so is Iffy. And then Asante Samuel Jr. is, fine as a CB1. But look, if that's your worst part of your team, then you're doing pretty good. So I actually totaled up the points. So I put 3 points for a first place vote, 2 points for a second place vote, and 1 point for a third place vote. So coming in 4th.
Let's go, PJ.
PJ Clark.
And to mention, I didn't mention him in my spiel because it was my last pick because the running back position doesn't matter. Najee Harris is just going to use this offensive line. We're going to run it down everybody's throats. We're going to play action to Kyle Pitts. Get at me. I don't care. Boo me. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Your team sucks.
Who needs analytics? Just run the ball down their throat. Let's do that. So PJ, 3 points.
I believe in you. Hurting is cool.
Wow.
Coming in 3rd place is me with 5 points. And then
not last.
We have 2 more points to you, PJ. And then tied for 1st is Nick and Tate with 8 points each.
Boom.
Which means the winner will be determined by you guys.
Okay. No. We're not out. No, absolutely not.
Yes, you
absolutely
are.
Not. Absolutely not.
There's a handicap.
PJ, your team is awful.
People are gonna see the offensive line and be like, "Oh my God, offensive linemen matter," and then they're gonna be, "Oh my God, I used Creed Humphrey and Landon Dickerson."
Oh my God, he drafted 3 slot corners and no safety.
The internet
receivers. Oh God,
the internet loves Najee Harris. The internet loves Najee Harris. I have Najee Harris.
Hold on. What is this? He's hanging the hat for his offense on his last pick.
No, I'm hanging it on the best tight end ever. I'm hanging it on the best tight end ever.
We're gonna run the ball and then we're gonna play action to Kyle Pitts.
I don't get credit for having the best tight end ever.
Plan A is run the ball. Plan B is throw to Kyle Pitts.
It's not.
Good. That's good. Great.
It's my wide receivers stink, but I have the best tight end ever.
All right. That'll do it for More Busted Draft Show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. More Busted Draft.
I'm not done. Who said I was done?
For PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth, Nick Merriam, I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.
That was mean.